welcome to Front End Guru. So today we are diving deep into the most asked interview questions about React, the powerful library that's changing the way we build user interfaces. Whether you are just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, you are in the right course. So grab your coding gear and let's unlock the secrets of React together. So the first question might be asked in your interview, that is, what is React and why is it used? So let me write it first. H2, not H2, I will use the H3 tag. Okay, what is React and why is it used? Okay. So the React is a JavaScript library created by Facebook for building user interfaces. React is not a framework, any kind of. Okay. So it allows developers to create large web applications that can change data without reloading the same page. Okay. So this makes apps fast and responsive. React is used because it helps in building reusable UI components and making developer more like cool, and making more development more easier and more efficient. So this is actually the React. And the second question is the what is JS6 and why is it used? Let me write down this first. Okay. So I will take this like, okay. Question number 2 is what is JS6 and why is it used? Okay, like this. So JS6 stands for JavaScript XML. It's the syntax extension for JavaScript that looks similar to HTML. JS6 allows you to write HTML like code. Okay, so that you can put this all together directly in your JavaScript files, and this makes it easier to visualize the UI structure. And when you see, when you use a JSX, React will convert it into the JavaScript code that the browser can understand. Okay, so that is all about the JSX. So the next question is, this is all our basic, you know. So okay, so the question number 3 is what is oops, React component. Okay, so what is a React component? So a React component is a reusable, think like it, like a reusable piece of code, okay, that returns a part of the user interface. So components can be functional, or class based. So they can accept inputs called props, the short form of properties, to customize their output. So this makes it easy to create dynamic and interactive UIs. Okay, so let me show you first. So this is the source folder, and I'm creating a new folder called the components. Okay, so within this components folder, I'm creating a new file. So name this as let's say greetings.jsx. Okay, so I will say export default function, let's say greetings. Okay, so I will pass there's props over here. This is actually the input. Okay, so return, so this is not a value, mind it, and I will say in h1 tag, uh, I will say this welcome to I will pass this props dot name. So okay, so and I'm going back to this app.js, and I will simply render these greetings, importing from the components folder, and I'll say I will pass the value name equals to the name, so the name will be, let's say, front end guru. Okay, like this. So you can see this. So that is what about the React component. So it's a reusable piece, and a piece of code that returns a part of user interface. So these greetings I can use it in my every component, every page. Okay, like it might be app.jsx. I can also use this on in the main.jsx, or any kind of like my home page, my dashboard, everywhere. Okay, so let me comment this out first, and let me write the next question is okay, question 4. Okay, so what is the differ difference? Okay, what is the difference between state and props? Okay, what is the difference between state and props? Okay, so state and props are both used to manage data in React, but they serve different purposes. Like state is a local data storage, the that a component can change. Okay, so it is managed within the component, but props on the other hand are like the inputs, that is I showed you to in this previous greetings.jsx part, that is, this is the props, so this is actually the input. Okay, so these props are inputs passed from a parent component to a child component. Okay, so this is greetings. I'm marking it as like this is the child component. Okay, child component. Okay, this is the child component, and this app.jsx or the js, this is the parent component. Okay, so props is the they are like the inputs, it can be passed from a parent component to the child component. So they are actually read only, but cannot be modified by the child component. Okay, so let me show this first. So I'm going to let me close this and creating a new file called number.jsx. Okay, okay, I think it's the net issues in my. Okay, so the number.jsx. Okay, so let me uh, create this first. Export default function called as, let's say, okay, it should be the number. Okay, so I will say that I will return, oops, I will return a div. I will return a div is actually the p. I will say that this is the number within this p tag. Okay, and over here I will add a button. Okay, okay, so let me, okay, let me render this after this h3 tag. This is the number, I think. Yeah. Oops. Export default function number. Yep. Where is that working? I don't know. Export default function number. Yep, it's kind of network issues. Okay. Okay. Why it is not showing this? Okay, let me import okay number from okay dot slash components dot slash the number. Okay, okay, you can see this. So this is the number.jsx component file. So this is actually the number. So I added this increase button, increase the number, increase the number. Okay, so whenever user clicks on this increase the number button, so it should be increases. Okay, like let's say by +1. Okay, so that is why we need the state method. So let me show you first. Okay, so it's a const, I'll say number, and I will say set number. Okay, oops, set number, and I will say use state. Use state. Okay, so this use state is actually the use hook. Sorry, use hook, not use hook. Use state is a React hook that is importing from the React. By default, I'm giving it the value 0. So I'm going to pass this number over here. Okay, so let me tell you first. So this is the basic syntax of useState method, the useState hook. So this number, it can be any name. Okay, also this can be any name. So this number is actually the variable. Okay, and this set number is the function. So, and this is the useState, and this is the default or the initial value. Whenever I pass this number or the variable over here, you can see this, it is showing 0 because I give the initial value is the 0. So this set number is the function. So whenever user clicks on this increase button, so the value will be set to the +1. Okay, so this set number actually the method, it is actually set that logic and update this variable or the number. Okay, so let me show how. So I'm giving it a callback function. This is the onClick method. You know the onClick method from the JavaScript window. Okay, so this is the callback function, and I will say the set number, this setter function will uh, set this number, increases this number by +1. So uh, whenever the user click this button or clicks this button, so this number should be increases plus by +1. Okay, like this, you can say this. Okay, so this is the, remind it, this is the variable, this is the function. Okay, and this is the initial or the default value. So okay, so this is all about the the difference between state and props. Okay, so the next question is what is prop drilling? So let me comment this out first, and let me show you this first. Okay, what is props or prop drilling? Okay, so this is a incident. Prop drilling actually occurs like when you pass props, like this is the parent component and this number is the this greeting, like this is child component. Okay, so whenever you pass properties or the props from a parent component to a child component and then to another child component and so on. Okay, this can make the code like harder to manage. Okay, uh, uh, it's make the code feel complicated. So if you have like many nested components, so don't use this. And it can lead to a like situation like where you have to pass props through many layers even if some like components don't need them. Okay, so let me show you this let me make a component file over here. Let's say prop drilling. Okay, okay, let's .jsx. Okay, so let's say function, let me export this first, export default function. Okay, and named it as child, and I will say return return another function, let's say grandchild. Okay, like this. Okay, so let me make this grandchild first function. Let's say grandchild. I will say this is a function. I will pass the props over here, and I will simply return h1 tag that will print like welcome to let's say props dot name. Okay, so this is the grandchild. Okay, so I will say the name, I will pass the name over here like this way, the props dot name, and I will also pass this props within this child. Okay, like this. So going back to the app.js, and I will simply simply import this child, and I will say name will be front end guru, like this. You can see this. This is all about the props. or prop tailing. Okay. Okay. So let me close this first. So the next question is, what is a React fragment and why is it used? Okay. What is a React fragments and why it is used? Oops. So React fragment is a way to add or grouping like multiple elements without adding extra nodes to the your DOM. This is very useful when you want to return multiple elements from a component without wrapping them in a div or like the HTML tag. Okay, it it helps keep the HTML structure clean and avoids like unnecessary nesting or anything else. Let me show you this first. So let me make another component file called list.jsx. Okay, so export default function list. Okay, I will say return. I will simply oops okay, why it is not auto completed. So anyways, so it's, let's say h1. Okay, h1 will be like this. Let's say this is the item 1. Let's say we have another div over here, item 2, like this. Let's say item 3, oops, 2, and let's say paragraph p tag item 3, like this. Okay, so I'm going to render this over here, and I will simply import. Okay, so you can see this is the item 1 h1, item 2 div, item 3. So what if we didn't use this div instead of if we use the div, so that will be the same. Okay, but what if I don't use this div or the fragments? So you can see this cannot assign to read only properties message. Okay, this is the syntax error, and it is showing me this did you want JSX fragment. So this is why we need the JSX React fragments. Okay, so simply put this over. If you don't need another div to wrap all this item up, so you can use this React fragments. Okay, so that's all for the today.